Hi, everybody. This is a clip from our latest episode of the London is Blue podcast. If you want to check out the full episode, we're going to put it on YouTube in a couple days, but you know what? You can actually get it right now. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, search for London is Blue. Keep the blue flag flying high.
Look, this has been fun because we reached out to our communities. We reached out to, Discord and social media. And we're just like, hey, we landed CJ. Like, what do you guys want to know about it? And the heads that popped off were just hilarious. So we've got from Discord, Menonali, right? And he was like, this is so cool. I was in college at the same time CJ was and saw him in a few of the buildings that we both had classes in. And he put in parentheses, at least I assume anyways, we both had classes. He goes, I knew who he was, but never met him. Give him a big war eagle for me, if you don't mind. Worlds colliding and whatnot, Chelsea and his alma mater. So again, like the crossover that you have, CJ, to this Chelsea community is surprising us without a doubt. So we're going to get into it, all right? We're going to talk about how you got into Chelsea and what you think about the season so far under Lamps. We're going to get to know what's it like following the Premier League as a professional NFL player. Obviously, schedules conflicting on Sundays and just travel and a lot of commitments. And maybe a few other questions that are provided by you, the listeners. A lot of NFL stuff, favorite meal, just, some random things. But, Dan, I'm going to throw this one over to you. We're going to start with how you got into Chelsea.
Well, yeah, I mean, we got a lot of questions. I think a pretty standard question, and we had Region 20, and then actually our audio editor Jake, who is a War Eagle as well, big fan, wanted to know just how'd you get into Chelsea? Like, what's the Chelsea story? How did you come to loving the best team in all of global football / soccer?
Yeah, first of all, War Eagle to to the person that tweeted that out, but. Growing up, my dad was a huge Inter Milan fan. And so he wanted me to play soccer. And I got too big and then started hitting people, started getting yellow cards, red cards. And I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I'm going to stick with football. But yeah, I really started watching and getting into it, like most of my friends, with FIFA. And it was my senior year of high school. And I played with Chelsea. And I mean, we played with everybody. We played randoms, and I started playing with Chelsea more and more. And I love Drogba, my by far favorite player from the past. I don't know if I might have new. He's my favorite player, I think. And yeah, I ended up getting in a little bit of trouble in college because my game issued iPad that they gave me. I would just watch Chelsea matches. Like, I'd be in class, and instead of taking notes, which I just popped it up, and the teacher couldn't see, and I looked like I was taking notes, but I'd be watching the matches, and just kind of took off from there. I had every ounce of money that I saved up would go into buying a Chelsea jersey and another kit, and that's pretty much all I wore around campus. So that's kind of the start of how. I became a Chelsea fan, and, just watching every match with people that were in, my dorm room or my house, or we weren't watching basketball or football. We were watching Chelsea.
Oh man. Okay. So I'm gonna just go off script here. You're in college. What years again? Were you in college for 2012?
Yes.
Yeah. So where did you watch the Champions League final?
At the house, the house that I lived in with my guys, Kyle, Trey, and Worth, and Mason, and so it was a football house, kind of. We're not allowed to have football houses, but a bunch of us lived there, and one in particular, he was like my arch rival FIFA player. And he actually was a huge Man U fan, but loved Chelsea for me. I didn't like Man U. I was like, nah, I'm Chelsea. But
smart.
He was cool with Chelsea, and he liked Drogba as well. So we watched it together, and I just got chills. I was going absolutely nuts watching that match. It was insane. We both went crazy, ran around the house. It was a good night, to say the least. But yeah, it was awesome.
So we'll fast forward a little bit to this here, right? I mean, it's obviously, with COVID, been a weird start to the season. Chelsea make a ton of signings. Just talk a little broadly about the start of this year. How are you enjoying it? You know, play style. Are you watching every single moment that you can?
Yeah, no, 100% I am. I think, the start of the year isn't for. I mean, I think you guys can agree it wasn't great. We're letting up goals and just doing just things that I want to pull my hair out. But then I think about it, and I think about what we're having to do with COVID and all these regulations, and the lack of time that I get to spend with the new guys, and so I kind of feel for them. I'm like, all right, you know what? I somewhat understand, somewhat, some of the poor defending and like keeper play. I'm like, all right, well, you could do better, but with the chemistry, I think it's tough. Especially like you said, there's so many signings, so many new faces, so much chemistry that needs to happen, and you need to kind of develop with, not even just on the pitch, but like in the locker room. I heard they had 90 seconds on Chelsea's, Instagram, and Ben was talking about how he's in the locker room with like 5 people, and they're separated with locker rooms, and so it's I think as the season's progressed, I'm like, okay, this is more up to speed, up to my expectations of Chelsea, and I've been pleasantly surprised. I actually got one of my best friends to start watching this year, and so he actually ends up texting me. I'm in his family group chat. It's actually really, it's funny. But they all watch now. They'll hit me up. They're like, hey, there's a match today. Hey, I just got this update. Like so and so is doing this. I'm like, no, I know. Like this is awesome. So it's been entertaining for sure.
Yeah, you're like, welcome to the club. Yeah, I know.
I got them jerseys. Like they're ready.
Nice. My guy, all on it. I actually wanted to quickly follow because you guys just went through the training camp piece of that, not too long ago, right? And COVID, obviously, and there are always a bunch of new players on NFL rosters each year. When you talk about the chemistry piece, I mean, there has to be some similarities. It's obviously a whole different sport, a whole different country, right? But when you're trying to get to know new guys during this weird period, like, do you find like even on the Bengals right now that things are just now starting to click? Is there like a like half start delay to the whole season for a lot of guys?
I'd say 2 games ago was the first time that I saw us play as a complete team. And yeah, I think the first we have a rookie quarterback. All of our captains for the most part are new players, and so it speaks to a volume of how much we respect those guys, but then it's also kind of like okay, they're our captains and they're doing the best they can to, know us and know our style of play and stuff. But at the same time, it's still, we've had a month together maybe, and we're expected to go out there and, hit another person for 60 minutes and try to win a game. So, yeah, I think within the last 2-3 weeks is when I've actually seen us come together and play and, kind of have that team chemistry and know where each person's going to be type of thing.